Good morning, students. How are you all? So today we are here to start up with our new chapter, that is natural resources, land, soil and water. As we know that natural resources are directly relate with the nature, because the word natural is arrived from the nature. So every resource which we got from the nature relates with the natural resources, and from that included soil, water, land and air. These four elements are quite essential for a human to live a life in a peaceful and a secured manner. So before starting the topic, just look at this extract that is related with the land pollution. So what you do, read this extract, and after reading that extract you have to discuss the last two questions. What is the land pollution? Land pollution is the deterioration of the earth's land surface area, often directly or indirectly as a result of man activities and the misuse of land resources. State two factors due to which it occurs. It occurs when waste material are not disposed properly, or when human throw chemical on the soil in the form of pesticides, insecticides and fertilizers during the agriculture practices. Now we are going to start up with our first resource, that is land resource. As we know that land is an essential resource and support all forms of life, but we have only 29% of earth's surface. Rest of the 71% is covered with the water, and out of that 29%, just 30% is fit for the human habitation and economic activities. So you can able to understand how less area we have to fit for the survival. The rest of the part is covered under the cold climate, steep mountains, deserty area, hot deserty area. So for the exact survival, we have only 30% of that 29% of our surface area. So look at this. Find out the name of some of the most separately populated area of the world. The names are already written here, that are Iceland, Australia, French, etc. Number of states came under, number of countries came under this. So moving further, the land use, as we want to use the land for the different purposes. Here we are going to discuss about the different purposes that we are going to use our land. Definitely we use our land for agriculture, we use our land for grazing, we use our land for making up or establishing the bigger industries, we use our land for the mining activities as well. So moving further, now we are going to discuss about the different factors that determine the land use. The first one is topography, the second one is climate, third one is the quality and thickness of soil. We are discussing about the land use, and these are the main determining factors that included for the use of land. Availability of water and mineral, after that the size of population, and moving further, the last one is availability of technology and capital. Before using the land, we have checked out all such factors are necessary for the establishment of any kind of activities or for the fulfillment of any kind of activity on a land. So what percentage of land in the world is used for the agriculture? Approx 11% of the globe total surface is used for the crop production. So there are two types of land. The first one is private land and the second one is community owned land. Private land definitely relates with an individual. An individual person has the authority to take a control over the land, and community land represents to the land that represents to the whole community. In this, a community park, community centers, all such kind of things are included. On such kind of a thing, the whole community have an equal right. So the change in the land pattern, there are number of changes that occur in the land use pattern as we humans are living on the land. So we are changing it according to our needs and requirement. The main basic threats which are being faced by the land resources is land degradation, that is deforestation, soil erosion and landslide. Definitely the problems like deforestation occur just because of the activities done by an human being. The activities, the technological advancement adversely affect the environment in a very bad condition. However, we can conserve the land. Deforestation, how we can able to conserve the land? how it can be conserved, like the problem we have discussed about deforestation, how we can overcome from this problem with the help of afforestation or forestation. We can able to remove such kind of a problem. Land reclamation will be there, regulatory of the chemical pesticides and fertilizer must be there, and we must check an overgrazing of the land. Moving further, our land sometimes face the problems like landslide. Now, what is landslide? Landslide that takes place when dirt, pebbles, rocks and boulders slides down towards together slope. So just look at this picture. This picture represents to the landslide. And now the problem of landslide must be corrected. So we have different kind of solutions for that. But before discussing the solution, we need to understand the causes of this. Sometimes the natural factors affect them, like rivers and oceans are the main causes of landslide. On the contrary, sometimes human factors, like human is moving towards the deforestation, there is a cultivation of the loose soil and such type of agriculture inculcation of the technological advancement industries affects our natural environment in a very bad manner. So we have to reduce such kind of activities so that we can able to survive, we can able to protect ourselves from such kind of landscape. So what are the solutions for that? Increase in the vegetation definitely will result in the betterment of the land, and afforestation, we must focus on the afforestation. Retention of walls must be there, mapping, proper mapping must be there, and after that surface drainage control work must be done there properly. So if we talk about the landslide in India, two regions are the most vulnerable to the landslide. The first one is Himalayas and the second one is the Western Ghats. Most of the time we face the landslide here. So moving further, now we are going to discuss about the mapped based on this slope, that is magnitude, length and direction. The second one is soil thickness. The third one is relative relief, and the fourth one is land use, and fifth one is drainage pattern. Definitely a drainage pattern will must be a very organized, in a very organized way. And the last one is landslide affected people. Landslide affect the people very badly, so we must give the residence to the people at that places where there is a less chances of such kind of landslides. So moving further, now we are going to discuss about the soil resources. You all are aware that soil itself is a tiny layer which cover the earth and which cover the earth in and make a shield on the earth. So now we are going to discuss about the soil resources. As we all know that soil itself is a thin layer which cover the earth, and if we talk about it is the uppermost layer of the earth's surface. We all humans are living on that particular region. So for soil profile carries O horizon, A horizon, E horizon, B horizon, C horizon and R horizon. So what is included in the O horizon? O horizon considered as the topmost layer of the surface, and it consists of loose decay of organic matters. We mostly plant our roots from here. After that, moving further, next one is A horizon. A horizon represents to the needed for the growth of plant, and it is also known as topsoil. So E horizon, it is light colored zone of leaching, and if we talk about the B horizon, that represents to the sandy and clay silt. And moving further, if we talk about the C horizon, that partially weathered rock material, it is made of partially weathered rock material. And if we talk about the R horizon, it is the bottommost layer of the soil, that consisting of the solid unbreakable rock material, and it is known as parent rock. And if we talk about the formation factors, it's how the soil forms, what are the main factors that affect the formation of the soil. So there are different types of factors which affect the formation of the soil. The first one is the parent rock, the second one is relief, third one is climate, and the fourth one is plants and animal, and the fifth one is time. So first one is parent rock. Parent rock which determine its colors, textures and property and the content as well. So relief, if we talk about the relief is based on the height of the region, its altitudes, the slope of the region, and then we have the quality of the thickness of the soil. Then moving further, flora and fauna, we can say that plants and animal microorganism is present in this soil. If there is a good amount of microorganism will be there, it will be more fertile. And if we talk about the climatic condition, the temperature, rainfall and the humidity effect of the quality of the soil, and further the quality of soil affect the growth of plant and agriculture in the region. And the last one is definitely time for the soil of the develop in the another for to proper development of the soil. Time plays an very important role. So hope you got this concept very well. So what are the main steps to be taken for the soil conservation? So there is a need to conserve the soil properly. So what are those main steps which we want to take, or which we had to take, that we have to get with the forestation? Dead plants and other organism forms humus which makes a soil fertile. With time the soil undergoes many changes. The process of soil erosion is very slow, and with the passage of time a young soil is thin, mature and thick. So moving further, we are going to discuss about the different types of soil that are found in India. The first one is alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is quite fertile and it is mainly found in Indo-Gangetic plains in the northern India, that is Brahmaputra valley. And the alluvial soil is also known as new alluvium and or Khaddar. So further, black soil is also called regular soil, and it is formed with the weathering of volcanic rock and the Deccan Plateau, and it covers the northmost peninsula plateau in the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and parts of Telangana. If we talk about the red soil is rich in iron and it is mainly found in the southern and eastern part of the peninsula, and definitely red soil is of red color. And further, if we talk about the literate soil represents to the western and eastern Ghats, and it is not that fertile for the growth of the agriculture. Leaching is the main property of this. Shrubs are mainly grown in the literate soil. And the next one is mountain soil. Definitely mountain soil will you found in the hilly places or an hilly area. The soil which have a high degree of altitude or which is at height represents to the mountain soil, and it is used for the cultivation of tea, coffee and spices. And moving further, desert or arid soil. The desert soil is quite dry and which is mainly found in the Rajasthan and Gujarat, contain desert soil as a thickmost layer of the sand. Further, now we are going to understand about the soil degradation and conservation. Rajay, in this both the factors are equally responsible for the soil degradation. Firstly, we are going to understand the soil, when does the soil depletion occur down. So the soil depletion occur when the soil loses its fertility due to the bad farming practices, like too many crops are being grown on the same piece of land and excessive use of fertilizers and chemicals will be done down. The dumping of industrial is also the main reason for the soil depletion. So both the factors are responsible for that, that is the natural one and the human factor. So we all are completely aware the activities which is being done by the human, how it is actually hazardous for the soil. So as the human is going on with the deforestation activity, so along with that overgrazing is there, construction and mining activities are being done by the human being. So definitely the direct result for that is the soil depletion or the problematic condition in the soil. And along with that, as we told about the natural resources also as well, so there are responsibilities or the responsible for that is natural resources as well. So how natural resources is responsible for that, like we can able to say the slope of land will depend on that, the wind structure, the flood happen down, the uncertain floods happen down, so definitely that create a problematic situation. Landsliding will be there. So these are all included down into the natural factors. When someone asks you about this, so both the factors are responsible for that, natural and the human factor. Okay, so soil conservation is actually very important for all of us, because without soil conservation, if we are unable to conserve the soil, so the life of the here is quite difficult for all of us. Soil conservation plantation include all the method used to prevent the soil degradation, the methods which is being chosen by us, which is being taken down by us just to prevent the soil, that is included down in the soil conservation. Okay, so students, how can we able to prevent our soil? So definitely the first and foremost thing, that planting of the trees. When we go up with the afforestation instead of going up with the deforestation, so automatically the greenery start coming here, and when the greenery start coming here, the soil erosion will be prevented down, and along with that the forest cover down, the way of soil conservation. So it is the shortest method and the simplest method, the plantation of trees. When the plantation of trees were there, so definitely we can able to create a good environment in our surrounding. Now on the other hand, on a steep of mountain slope, terrace farming should be practiced, in which the broad flat steps are being cut out from the slope and are used to grow down the crops. So here is a picture given down. So this picture is related with the terrace family. This stops soil for being washed away by flowing water. So similarly, the gentle mountain slopes counterflowing is done, on which the land is contoured in the cultivator to stop the soil erosion. Okay, so the another method to prevent the soil resources or to move towards the soil conservation is crop rotation. So in different crops are grown on a same piece of a land, and definitely at the different times of the year, degraded soil fertility can regain by the crop rotation and uses for the fertilizers and the manicure. So we we just need to understand that if we are going on with the multi-cropping system, that must be in a proper manner, that must be in a good manner. So barren land was there, that is being used down to prevent from the soil for washing away. So plugging the land will be there, so leaving the land flow is there, building of rock dams by pilling rocks to plug the gullies, and the checking over grazing by the animal and the growing fodder as a crops. So when the animal overgraze the soil activity, so definitely we are going to face down the problem in that. So hope you are clear with this. So here are the one extract that is related with the answer orally. So let's discuss the question that are given in this. So the first question is, what is land use? So here is the answer for that. Land use is the utilization of land for different purposes, like agriculture is there, grazing is there, forestry is there, industry is there, mining by the humans. Okay, so what are the factors responsible for the soil formation? So the parent rock is there, relief is there, climatic condition is there. So these all are actually responsible for the soil erosion. Okay, so another one, name all the soil horizons. So here we already discussed about that. O horizon is there, A horizon, E horizon, B horizon, C horizon and R horizon. So what do you understand by the term soil depletion? What is the meaning of the soil depletion? We already discussed about that. So soil depletion occur when the soil loses its fertility due to bad farming practices, like too many crops being grown on the same piece of a land and excessive use of chemicals and fertilizers occur down. So this is representing to the soil depletion. Okay, so further now we are going to start up with another resource, that is water. We all are completely aware that we are unable to even think our life without the water. Water is kind of a very essential thing in our life. If we don't have a water, so survival in this earth is not possible. So water is the only method to survive here in a easy manner, in a very effective manner. So as we all are completely aware, if the water is here, only then the human life existence will be possible. If the water is not there, so definitely we are not able to assume that we can able to live here on the earth. Similarly, as the land is a very important part, so similarly the another one, the soil is there, and the water is also a very much important part of our life. So how much water is available on the earth's surface? So let us discuss discuss on that. So water is one of the most important natural resources, as existence of life depends upon it, and about 71% of total surface area is covered with water. Where we are living, around 71% of that area is covered with the water, and around only 29% of area is covered with the land. And out of that 71%, 97% of water exists in the form of ocean, seas or saline making, that is not fit for even for the agricultural activity. We are not able to grow up our crop with these kind of water activities, so we are not able to even drink that water, so that is definitely unfit. And only 3% of water is fresh water, out of the 2% exist in the form of glacier or ice cap. So definitely how much we can able to use, or how much water is available for our usage, is just 1%. 1% water is available for the human consumption. Only 1% we can able to inculcate. Only 1% is there which we can able to take in our body just for our survival, or just for the agricultural activity. Only 1% of water is there. So Rajay, here is a water cycle. I think you all had already discussed down this water cycle in your previous classes as well. This water cycle is known as the hydrological cycle as well. So it refers to the continuous movement of water between the hydrosphere, atmosphere and lithosphere, in which the water changes the physical state and the total amount of water on the earth's surface remains the same. So this is a cyclic process of the water. We all are completely aware with that. So the cloud bursts down and the precipitation occurs down. Along with the precipitation, it run on the surface and after the ground, and it becomes the groundwater, and after that again the evaporation occurs down, and with the help of the condensation, and this process goes on simultaneously. Okay, so further now we are going to switch to the availability of water. So we are going to discuss down that about the availability of water, where it is available down, and how much is essential for the consumption, and how much we have in our country and the other countries as well. So just to use the water for drinking, washing and agricultural or activities, so industrial activity will be there, construction will be there, electricity generation will be there. So all these things are completely dependent on the water. The quantity of the availability of water is not same in all the countries, in all the areas. So it is dependent on country wise, or it is dependent at the land portion and where we are able to get the water. So the quantity is not ever same down. Okay, so the growing population, the demand of water is rapidly increasing down. Growing of crop will be happen down there. Rapid urbanization will be there. So just to satisfy the human need, just because of the population is growing day by day, so the usage of water is also growing up at the large extent. So many of the countries in the world are there, like Africa is there, Western USA there, part of South America is there, West Asia is there, Australia is there. They are already facing down the problem of the shortage of fresh water. So this problem and it is might possible that in future we too face down this problem if we don't save down, or if we don't understand the concept of scarcity of water. Scarcity होते रहे किसी चीज़ की कमी होना. Until or unless we are not able to understand the scarcity of water, तो हम क्या है अपनी लाइफ की जो इम्पोर्टेंस है उसे ख़त्म कर रहे हैं. सो वी जस्ट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द शॉर्टेज ऑफ वाटर इन आर एरिया until or unless it get finished down from our locality. So we need to understand the conservation of water as well. So water resources in India. So water resources in India, as students we are all are completely aware that water is very essential for all of us. So where we are using these water for the agriculture purpose, for the industrial purpose, for irrigation of activities, also domestic needs. Agriculture is required if and every spheres of a life. So the water resources definitely include the monsoon, river, rainwater, underground water, and the monsoon rains, and the many number in it. But the water resources in our country are unevenly distributed. Some of the areas are there that have a plenty of a water, and another area is there that is actually does not getting a full amount of water, that is the fresh water for their daily needs as well. So this creates a lot of problems. Sometimes the area is there that are facing the problem of the flood with the water, difficulty in the survival of the people, but some of the areas are there where there is a scarcity of water, that the people are not getting the water evenly, and we can able to say that in India the distribution of water is not a perfect one, is not a proper one. So the management of water therefore is required by the government officials as well and by the people as well, because the water is essential for both the activities, agriculture or the domestic needs as well. So there is a need to arrange down the management or the supply of the water in all the areas, that it is being done down by the developing the irrigation system by means of canals, tube wells, tanks and the other wells as well. So further now we are going to understand the conservation of water resources, how we can able to conserve the water resources, हम water को कैसे conserve कर सकते हैं, बचा सकते हैं, and further we can able to use that. So Rajay, due to the less amount of water, less amount of fresh water, there is a very much need to conserve that water. So what are the main methods for that? We are just going to discuss down that point wise. The first point is related with wastewater should be reused and stored for use in the dry season. When there was a dry season, so definitely the water that is being wasted down, that must be uses down again. So we must have the facility of reuse of the water in the area. So another one is related with water must be diverted from the surplus region to the region having a shortfall of the water. One area that has a surplus amount of water, जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा पानी है, so that water is must be replaced down to the another one where is a shortage of the water. So the replacement is very much essential for that. So further, the rainwater harvesting, in which the rainwater is collected and stored for the use of the dry season, should be saved water. So definitely the rainwater harvesting must be included down, where the water from that we get from the rain must be storage down, and further that water is used down for the usage of the necessary things, or water further be used down when there was a dry season or we don't have a plenty of water to drink down. The sprinkle should be used for the irrigation the field as a use of less water. So water for the irrigation purpose must be used in a very effective manner. It is not like that we are continuously wasting our water. A plenty of water is being wasted down in the irrigation activities as well. So when we are using the water for the irrigation activities, so it is our duty to check out that it should be used in a very wise manner. So the canal running through the field should be properly linked or lined with the prevent water for the seeping, and the drip or trickle irrigation should be used dry region to save water. So these kind of practices must be used down in the irrigation activities, so that we can able to save our water. The another one is related with the forest covered should be increased to retain and improve the level of ground water. So more or more forest is required down, so that the groundwater is being used down or utilized down in a better way. The containment of water bodies due to human activities should be checked, and this can be done by treating the industrial and domestic waste before releasing them into the waste bodies. So Rajay, we all are completely aware that industrial waste or the domestic waste directly goes into the water bodies, so that must be checked out very carefully, that human activities that is creating down, that is resulting down in the pollution of the water, that the water pollution that must be ignorant one. So the no human activities will be done like that is the throwage of the water wastage into the water. So these kind of practices must be checked out each and everything very carefully, and it must be stopped down. More trees should be planted as they help in retaining water, reducing surface runoff and recharging groundwater table. We always heard that we need to plant more and more trees. What is the reason for that? So it is actually helpful for us in lot many things. It include up us to live it provides us a better environment, and along with that groundwater stability will be rises down there just because of planting more trees. So Rajay, this is all about our chapter. So here is one extract that is given down. So let us discuss what is included down there. So what percentage of water exists in the ocean, seas, glacier and ice caps? So 97% of water is included down in the oceans and seas, and the remaining 3% fresh water, out of which 2% exists in the frozen form as a glacier and ice cap. What is the water cycle? So we here discuss down about the water cycle. So what is actually the water cycle? The water cycle refers to the continuous movement of water between the hydrosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere, in which the water changes its physical state. However, the total amount of water on the earth's surface remains the same. Okay, so the third question that is there: why is there an increasing demand for water? Why the water demand is increasing down on the regular basis? Because we all are completely aware the water is used down in a continuous basis as the population is growing on the regular basis. So the usage of water is very much essential because it is used in the domestic chores as well. Along with that, agriculture activities dependent on this, the industrial activities dependent on this, the power generation is dependent on this. That is the reason the demand for water is increasing day by day with the increase in the population. Okay, so what is the causes the scarcity of water? So Rajay, just because we just take out why the scarcity, why the less amount of water is available there, just may be due to the inadequate rainfall over the consumption is the main reason of the scarcity of the water. So Rajat, this is all about our chapter. Hope you are clear with the chapter. Now what you have to do, you have to complete down the exercise that is given in the end of the chapter, and Rajat, try to solve this exercise by yourself without taking the help of any other person.